Okay, so the other big beef, of course, that we have with Netanyahu is that he doesn't want to deal with Iran. So let me ask you this, especially our Republican friends. I don't know if you noticed, but the Iraqi military in the last couple of weeks has been trying to take back the city of Tikrit in Iraq. And when I say the Iraqi military, I mean the Iranians.
Right. Right.
It's the Iranians. We are so dead set that we have to wipe out ISIS. But we can't seem to find anybody willing to actually do that with boots on the ground, except Iran. When are we going to admit that our ally is Iran? Or would that mess up the simple thought, Iran bad?
I think we can stick with Iran as bad. I really do.
Really?
This is a country that's stirring up all kinds of front groups. The attack in Yemen at the mosque, perhaps Iranian-backed. We're not 100% sure. We know that they're supporting a lot of terrorist groups. We know that they were supporting the Iraqis over us at the first time. So I think if we're looking for allies in the Middle East, we'd start with Israel. And then we'd look at Jordan.
Right.
Well, but that's the given, Jack. Of course, we're going to start with Israel. But
look, Iran is playing definitely a role in Iraq and trying to take over these cities. But at the same time, I mean, their goal is to create a nuclear bomb. And so there needs to be, we have to hold them accountable. And the question becomes, is there the trust factor? Considering the fact that you do have those hardliners in Iran that chant death to America. I mean, how can you build that trust with that country and at the same time kind of push aside our ally
I don't know,
Israel?
when Nixon was president, and the Shah was there, that was the place we trusted. It was a little more sensible, realpolitik. Tom Friedman wrote a column this week, and he said, why aren't we actually the allies of ISIS instead of bombing them? He pointed out that Iran, the ultimate evil, apparently, we have now basically put them in charge of 4 capitals in the Arab world: Beirut, Damascus, Baghdad, and the capital of Yemen. So Dick Cheney's decision to invade Iraq looks real good right now, doesn't it? I'm just saying, if Iran is so awful, why are we always doing their dirty work? Why are we always helping them? We toppled the Taliban. We toppled Saddam Hussein. Now we're going after ISIS. We are always fighting.
We're barely going after ISIS. I mean, there's so much more that we need to be. There's so much more we can be doing to be going after ISIS. ISIS continues to expand into Syria and to Iraq.
So we should put boots.
No, that should be all military options should be on the table.
And I agree with
that's
you.
saying
I think we have to make up our mind: are we going to fight ISIS or not? And then if we are, we do need to have. We're going to have air raids. We're going to have boots on the ground, and we're going to have a coalition. This president has not been able to put together an international coalition the way that President Bush did, and that was very important.
Really well. Because his
That was
war
very
put
important.
us where we are today.
You mean the war that Hillary Clinton and John Kerry voted for? That one. That would be the
President
vote
Obama
for.
left a vacuum in Iraq, so he took the troops out. Wasn't able to agree
No
on a deal with the Iraqi government, and then what leaves the vacuum so ISIS can
Boots
fill
on the
hole.
ground that were started by President Bush were not, notwithstanding many brave people who died and gave their lives, it was not successful.
Well, right now what's not
put us
successful is we keep seeing these beheadings, these crucifixions, these children and women that are becoming
It wasn't
sex slaves.
successful, but Obama ran
we're seeing an expansion of ISIS.
And you
so
think boots on the
do I
ground is
think
gonna
that it's
fix
U.S. boots on the ground? It has to be a coalition.
And who's going to be in that
And
coalition?
Well, we need
remember,
leadership coming from
this
somewhere.
president was reelected on this thing that Al-Qaeda is on the run. Does anybody see that today?
You guys,
but that's what his,
Hi, Bill.
you have
that was
such
his
a
mantra.
fundamental misunderstanding of the Middle East.
So does everybody
You
else.
really do.
That may be true.
I mean,
that may be true.
The best thing we could do is just stay out of it. Can't you see that they're having a war between themselves? If we want them to use all their energy not on attacking us, but on attacking each other, they're doing it. There's an
I say
old
bomb the hell out of them.
Of course
Bomb
you
the
do.
hell out of them.
Bill,
Let
but
them
what
bomb
about
ISIS. Get
Australia?
them
Bill,
to
what
do
about
that.
Australia?
How do you do that without killing a lot of innocent people?
But what about Australia
Well, that's
and Paris and Copenhagen and the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center? All this stuff happens outside of that area.
Right,
So,
but maybe if America wasn't in the middle of this battle that they need to have a battle apparently between the Sunnis and the Shiites, just the way the Catholics and the Protestants did in the 16th century, and between the Muslims who want to live in the 21st century and the Muslims who want to live in the 7th century. They need to have that battle. As long as we're in the middle of it, they have a common enemy. You know that old saying in politics, don't stop someone who's committing homicide when they're committing suicide. These guys are literally committing suicide. Let them have the battle amongst themselves. That way we don't...
You know, Bill, when the USS Cole was attacked, 17 Americans were killed in Yemen. That was pre-9/11. We weren't interfering in their business. And as you know, Yemen was a very pro-American country. And now it's a...
And here's the situation. You've got 2,000 to 3,000 Americans that are going to these countries. We don't know where they are. We can't track them to get trained in ISIS. We don't know if they're going to return and come and do attacks here in the U.S.
Tunisia.
And that's the thing that we need to be prepared for.
You know, where I said this before, where are the Muslims who want to go and fight ISIS? The only Muslims I hear about going to the battlefield are the ones who want to be part of ISIS. Maybe if we got out of it, we would encourage those Muslims, and there are many of them, who want to live in the 21st century to oppose these people who want to live in this medieval world. But we are not allowing that to happen.